Is peace between Iran and Israel possible? A critical analysis, the conflict between Iran and Israel is one of the most complex and long-standing geopolitical rivalries in the modern world. Since the Iranian Revolution, relations between the two countries have remained hostile. Iran does not recognize Israel as a legitimate state, while Israel views Iran as a major threat, especially due to its nuclear ambitions. This document explores whether peace between Iran and Israel is possible, and if not, what alternatives exist to manage the conflict. The Iran-Israel conflict is not recent. It dates back decades and includes both direct and indirect confrontations. Iran supports groups such as Hezbollah and Hamas against Israel, while Israel has carried out strikes on Iranian military and nuclear sites. In recent years, especially after 2024, tensions have increased further with more direct attacks and threats from both sides. The conflict has grown due to Iran's nuclear program and its increasing influence in the Middle East. One of the main reasons peace is difficult is ideological differences. Iran and Israel fundamentally disagree on each other's existence. Iran considers Israel illegitimate, while Israel sees Iran as an existential threat. This makes compromise extremely difficult because the issue is not only political, but also based on beliefs and long-term national positions. Another major issue is Iran's nuclear program. Iran claims that its nuclear activities are for peaceful purposes, such as energy, but Israel and its allies believe that Iran may develop nuclear weapons. This creates fear and tension. Even past agreements like the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, failed to bring lasting peace because they did not fully resolve the concerns of both sides. There is also a serious lack of trust between the two countries. Previous agreements have broken down, and both sides accuse each other of dishonesty and hidden intentions. Without trust, it is extremely difficult to achieve long-term peace. In addition, there is a regional power struggle. Iran and Israel both want influence in the Middle East. Iran supports various groups in different countries, while Israel tries to stop these influences through military actions. This turns the conflict into a wider regional issue rather than just a problem between two countries. In the current situation, military actions are ongoing, and peace talks are not very successful. Both sides are preparing for possible escalation, and ceasefire efforts often fail due to strict conditions. This makes immediate peace very unlikely. From a short-term perspective, peace between Iran and Israel is highly unlikely due to ongoing conflict, political pressure, and strong ideological positions. In the medium term, a temporary ceasefire may be possible if international mediation succeeds and both sides agree to reduce military actions. In the long term, peace could be possible, but only if there are major changes. Iran would need to soften its stance on Israel, and Israel would need to accept certain limitations instead of completely eliminating Iran's nuclear capability. Strong international involvement would also be necessary. If full peace is not possible, then the focus should shift to managing the conflict. One important method is ceasefire agreements, which can reduce violence and protect civilians even if they are temporary. Another approach is nuclear control agreements, which can limit nuclear development and reduce the risk of war. Diplomatic engagement is also important. Even if direct talks are not possible, indirect communication through organizations like the United Nations or other countries can help maintain dialogue. Another strategy is deterrence, where both sides avoid full-scale war because of the fear of severe consequences. Efforts to reduce regional tensions, such as limiting proxy conflicts, can also help prevent escalation. There are several possible future scenarios. One is continued conflict, where attacks and tensions remain ongoing without any permanent solution. Another is a Cold War situation, where there is no direct war but constant tension and competition. A third possibility is a negotiated settlement, which is rare but possible if both sides are willing to make major compromises. In conclusion, peace between Iran and Israel is extremely difficult, but not completely impossible. The conflict is deeply rooted in ideology, security concerns, and regional politics. In the short term, peace is unlikely, but in the long term, it may be achieved through major political changes and international pressure. If peace cannot be achieved, the world must focus on managing the conflict to prevent a larger and more dangerous war. The Iran-Israel conflict is not just a regional issue, but a global concern. The future depends on whether leaders choose confrontation or cooperation.